Welcome, my name is Lee Douglas with Agri Supply. Today we're going to be troubleshooting a Fimco sprayer with a 12-volt pump. This particular one is a 15-gallon trailer sprayer. This one has a boom, a hand wand for spot spray, 2.1 gallon per minute pump with a manifold and with a pressure gauge. At Agri Supply we stock a vast selection of Fimco sprayers, ranging from sprayers like this one with a 12-volt pump to ones with a gasoline engine driven pump, as well as a PTO driven pump, all the way from spot sprayer to broadcast sprayer. One of the first things you'll do when you get your trailer sprayer and get ready to spray is you'll have to hook it up to a 12-volt source. That can be on an ATV, lawnmower, whatever you're pulling the trailer sprayer with. Sometimes the pump will not come on. One thing to check, you have a fuse here that you need to check. You have a fuse here that needs to be checked. And then last but not least, you have a switch here. Once that switch is turned on and the fuses are checked to be good, it should come on and build pressure. Once it reaches 60 PSI or whatever PSI rating the pump is set at, it will shut off because this is an on-demand pump. It will not run all the time, only when it is below the set pressure limits on it. Another common problem we have with these sprayers, they will not build pressure. Once you turn them on, they do not build pressure, pump just runs. Most common problem with that is there's a cutoff valve up under here. Make sure that cutoff valve is turned to the on position. And the way you tell that is the handle will be in line with the hose going to the pump. If it is not, turn it to where it is in line. Once that's done, it should build pressure when you turn it on. Should. If it fails to build pressure like this one's doing, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the screen here, and I'll need to put on some PPE for that. When we check and clean the strainer here in the intake line, we want to be sure to disconnect our 12-volt source. Also, we want to be sure to wear the proper PPE in accordance to whatever chemical you have in the tank. Today we have on gloves and safety glasses. First thing we're going to do is make sure that this valve is turned to the off position so that the contents of the tank will not spill out once we disconnect this line. Well, you will have some spillage here, so be sure that you're in an area that's not going to cause any concern. Then we unscrew this line here. And as you can see, there's a screen in here. This particular one is clean. It is held in there with a rubber washer. We would take that screen out and wash it if it was clogged. This one here is not clogged, so we will reattach the intake line. Once the intake line is secured, we can then open the valve back up. Now that we've checked our screen and verified that it is clean, we're going to reconnect our 12-volt supply, turn it on to see if we now build pressure. As you can see, we're still not building pressure, so the next thing we're going to check to see if all of our valves are closed. As you can see, this one here is not closed. So what I'm going to do is close this one at this time, and you can see that we went right back to 60 PSI and shut off. Commonly asked question on these Fimco sprayers are, how do you adjust the pressure when you're spraying? Sometimes you want a little less pressure to not put out quite as much chemical on whatever your application is. The way you do that, once you open up your boom, you can see we're running at about 30, a little better than 30. If we wanted to drop down to 20, we would open up this valve here and regulate the pressure with that valve. As you can see, as I open and close this recirculation valve, it adjusts the pressure. If you want to go full pressure, just keep that completely closed. Another commonly asked question is there a good way to mix your chemical with the water you have in the tank? we can use this recirculation valve right here to do that. If we open this valve, it's just going to pull the water and chemical into the pump from the bottom and push it right back in the top of the tank, and that'll recirculate everything in the tank and mix your chemical and water thoroughly. As you can see right here, it's just recirculating the water from down here to back in here. And you can let that run as much as you would like. Another commonly asked question is if you can add a longer hose to the spray wand on these sprayers. This one here comes with 15 feet of hose. If you need to add extra hose to it to reach farther away from the actual sprayer, the answer to that is yes and no. With the 2.1 gallon sprayer, you can add up to 15 more feet for a total of 30 feet of hose for your spray wand. Some of the larger sprayers come with a 3.8 gallon per minute pump, and you can go up to 50 feet in total length on the spray wand. On our smallest spot sprayer, 15 gallon, it comes with a 1 gallon per minute pump. We do not recommend adding any more than the 15 feet that come on that sprayer. Another commonly asked question is whether you can run bleach or diesel fuel through these sprayers, and the answer is no. Bleach and diesel fuel both will mess up the seals and the diaphragm in the pump, as well as the seals on every connection on the sprayer. So the answer to that is no. Agri Supply stocks many replacement parts for these Fimco sprayers, including the fittings, the manifold, pressure gauge, pump, intake tube, cap, spray wand, hose, and any part that we do not stock, we can special order to replace any broken part on your sprayer. Thank you for watching our Fimco troubleshooting video today. I hope it was helpful, and if you have any further questions, please visit us at agrisupply.com.